Hello and welcome back to another episode of Injustice For All MMA. My name is David, and this episode is for UFC 291 Poirier V Gaethje 2. Incredible card from start to finish. Beautiful card. One of the best cards of the year. I can't rank it right now, but one of the best cards of the year. I'm looking at it, only two decisions. Only two decisions on the card. Just from the whole night was incredible. The whole night was incredible. All the guys who you wanted to win won basically. Holland won, if you like Holland. Gaethje won, if you like Gaethje. Green won, if you like. And if we're just gonna be honest here, shit that I just didn't expect. I wasn't thinking Holland by sub. That didn't come to mind. I didn't think Green by submission. That's not what came out in my head. I wasn't thinking Medic by TKO. I wasn't thinking. Now I'm not super high on Semelsberger, but still, I wasn't thinking TKO for Medic. And then probably the biggest one. I didn't think Lewis was going to come in with a flying knee. But that's the biggest one. The second biggest one was I didn't think, and I was surfing online a little bit, but I didn't think Blachowicz was going to gas out a little bit, but that's irrelevant to the decision, obviously. And I most definitely didn't think that Gaethje was going to knock out Poirier via head kick. If there was a knockout in my mind, I was thinking like a TKO. Second round head kick knockout. I mean, I can't. It just didn't even make. It made zero sense to me. But that's what we got. Incredible card. I mean, I'll have to rank it maybe at the end of the year. I'll do like a thing where I have to rank probably the best card and just how I felt overall. But let's talk about the scorecards. So most fights ended in a finish. So there's only 4 honorable mentions. No injustices. No one got robbed. But we'll go to honorable mentions. First one is Kopylov versus Ribeiro. This fight ended in a KO, like a head kick KO for Kopylov in the second round. First round I had a 10-9 for Kopylov. It was pretty simple. Kopylov is outstriking Ribeiro pretty much the entire fight. At the very end, there's like a flurry from Ribeiro where he lands like a bunch of strikes, but it's not enough to take off the tally of what Kopylov did to him. And even still in my head, I knew Kopylov won this round. We go to the scorecards where 2 judges were like, you know what? That little flurry he did at the end was enough to win him the round, and that's stupid. Junichiro Kamijo gave it 10-9, and Steve Forager gave it 10-9 to Ribeiro. And then Dan Fruce gave a 10-9 to Kopylov. So honorable mention to Kamijo and Forager. That's nonsense. I mean, that little flurry at the end was not enough for Ribeiro to win that round. Next honorable mention is Ferguson versus Green. Now, before this fight in the third round, submission win for Green. After the first round, it immediately hit into my head. I just knew a judge was going to give one of these, that first round to Ferguson. I knew it. I just knew it, just based off the drop. But I knew in my head the correct scorecard was a 10-9 in the first round for Green. Given the fact that, yes, Green is outstriking Ferguson, gets dropped, then he continues to outstrike Ferguson. This isn't one of those like he's up by a couple strikes or so. He's outstriking Ferguson pretty well. The drop is kind of irrelevant here, but I just knew that's what we were gonna do. Second round is a whole different story. In the second round, Green is outstriking Ferguson again on the feet, and he has some ground and pound. Pretty much Ferguson ends up on the ground. A lot of ground and pound here. Ferguson is kind of active. He throws some elbows and lands a couple shots, but it's mostly Green landing heavy shots on Ferguson in that second round. You go to the judges' scorecards, where they want to be difficult. Farger gives the first round a 10-9 to Green, and then gives the second round a 10-8 to Green. I don't really agree with. I'm not agreeing much with the 10-8, but whatever. That's whatever. He gives a 10-8 to Green in the second round. Derek Cleary gives two 10-9s, first and the second for Green, and then Ron McCarthy gives the first round to Tony Ferguson. That's nonsense. Honorable mention there to Ron McCarthy. Then you go to the next honorable mention. This was Blachowicz versus Pereira. This ended in a split decision. Before I even talk about what I saw online, just watching it, I knew this was Pereira won the third round. But let's start from the top. At this 29-28 Pereira, first round you give to Blachowicz. Last two rounds you give to Pereira. In that very first round, okay, Blachowicz gets a takedown. He's looking for subs. He has like maybe one legit submission attempt, but he's trying to get submission attempts. He's trying to get subs over and over and over. Has a little bit of ground and pound down there as well. That's his round. Second round, Blachowicz gets a takedown, but this is like, I want to say middle of the round, but he's getting outstruck on the feet in that second round, so the takedown is irrelevant. You go to the third round, where this is, I guess, the slight topic. It's not like I've searched online. I just saw a couple comments, but in the third round, Pereira's they're pretty close on strikes up until about around the end. They're close on strikes. Pereira starts to then go off in the sense that he's landing more frequently. He's building up a lead in strikes. And I want to say on my counter, at least, it was about maybe 5-6 strikes ahead. That's when Blachowicz gets the takedown, and proceeds to land little to zero ground and pound. And Pereira is the only one who is active on his back. I mean, even if they just stood still, I'll even go a step further. Even if they both did nothing, like Blachowicz got the takedown and Pereira did zero, and Blachowicz did zero, the strikes were enough ahead to where that round still goes to Pereira. I don't think you can live in a world where we can just argue that he got outstruck on the feet by that much and then gets a takedown and does nothing with that. So that round for me goes to Pereira. You go to the judges' scorecards. All right, and Derek Cleary and Ron McCarthy both have it the same. Their scorecards reflect by 29-28. And Junichiro Kamijo, he just gives the last round to Blachowicz. Honorable mention to Junichiro. Nonsense. Now, we go to Poirier versus Gaethje. The KO that came from nowhere. It didn't even make any sense. I'm watching it and I'm thinking to myself, it makes zero sense. But that's not the part that baffles me. I was searching the scorecards and this keeps happening. It pisses me off. It really pisses me off because this shit really matters. This shit matters, and no one's gonna care. And no one's gonna care because he won, right? But in a perfect world, not even in a perfect world, in a not perfect world, this shit is supposed to matter. Fuck the KO. Fuck the KO. If you were to ask somebody, a legit person, fuck asking somebody, if you were to watch this fight, you would say, who won this first round? It's Gaethje. Gaethje won the first round. I had a 10-9 for Gaethje. Gaethje is outstriking Poirier. Obviously, Poirier lands some nice shots on Gaethje, but Gaethje is roughly outstriking Poirier. He's outstriking him by a pretty nice margin. And you go to the scorecards, where for some reason, listen, I don't know if it's the angle, I don't know if it's the fucking air, I don't know what it is, but Junichiro Kamijo, hilarious, gives a 10-9 to Gaethje. That's the correct scorecard. The rest two, Ron McCarthy and Derek Cleary, then give the first round to Dustin Poirier. Make it make sense. It makes no sense. I'm lost. I'm confused. Go back, rewatch it, rescore it, whatever. Close your eyes, open your eyes. Slide like Herb. that round goes to Justin Gaethje, and for some reason it's scored for Poirier. It's the same bullshit they did when Izzy knocked out Pereira, and it's cool, Izzy won, ha ha ha, clap, 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 but no, because in the first round, Pereira is outstriking Izzy. He's outstriking Adesanya, and then you go to the scorecards, and I can't remember at this point, but I know at least one, I'm certain on that, at least one judge, and I want to say, I think it's two, but at least one judge gives round one to Adesanya. It doesn't make sense. It makes zero fucking sense, but that's the only thing that I'm mad about. Other than that, throw this up there as a super fight. Super card. I'd have to go through 2023 and just see, but a super card. Incredible card. Amazing. You couldn't be happier. That's pretty much it. I'll see you guys next week for the next card. Thank you all for listening, and God bless.